Morning, guys. We have some armored vehicles moving. There's a lot of army activity in this region, I have found. I don't know what's going on here. Maybe there's an army base over there with this big antenna. I have no idea. But anyway, good morning. Hello guys. So, it's not morning anymore. It's 20 past 5. But since we started the day with the Russian army, I think it's time for another army story. But first, let's say that I have my MSS sleeping system coming. I don't know when, but I have ordered it and I will get it. So that's cool. And also, if I'm not answering, if you're commenting and so on and I doesn't answer, it's not because I cannot be bothered or is arrogant or something like this. I simply just don't have the time at the moment. I can answer some but not all, I think. Anyway, story time. As you know, I was a combat engineer in the Danish army, and at one time we had a visit from some British guys, a British regiment. And so this story and other information on this story will be about the madness of the British guys, of the British soldiers, because they're mad. They're just mad. But anyway, we also had, after the first Gulf War, we had some Americans also, but they're not like the Brits. The Brits, they're hardcore and mad. But anyway, in my company we were like 188 guys, and we divided in a big barrack, 11 guys in each room, and I was in bridge laying and mine sweeping unit, and as a light machine gunner. So I was securing the bridge areas and so on. But anyway, one weekend we were staying at the garrison and so on, and the Brits were there, and they were outside the garrison. They made a camp, or what you can say, outside the fence, out in the maneuver area, in the terrain. There were also quite a lot of guys out there. So, you know, like always in the weekend, we're just jumping around, minding our own business, drinking some beers and this and that. But then two guys from my group, the rocket launcher guys, or it's not a rocket launcher, it's a recoilless rifle. Carl Gustav it was called. It's quite a formidable weapon actually. But anyway, they were walking out, you know, to the rear gate, to the back gate, and looking at the British guys, you know. And it was so funny, like, but because they came back quite a long time after, they were like white in their faces and completely shocked. What unfolded there was that the Brits had a big mess tent, and it was a weekend, you know, and outside this tent was standing a guy, and he was saying to him, "Hey lads, man, oi lads, get on over here," you know. And yeah, they came over and said, hello, and they wanted to swap some berets and stuff like that, and he said, yeah, come on in and have a few beers and stuff. And then, yeah, okay. And then they went into the into the mess tent, and they said there was like more than 100 naked guys in there. Only their sergeant was wearing a t-shirt because he was a sergeant, so he was allowed to wear a t-shirt. But there were just 100 guys or something in there drinking as mad, completely naked. And they were making they were making all sorts of drinking games, you know, with putting toilet paper on the ass and down to the floor and lighting it, and you had to drink a pint or something like that before it burned your ass and all this shit. And yeah, they were hanging out there a little bit, and they were quite, what the hell's going on here, you know. And then there was one guy who came, one of the Brits came from the, I don't know, from his tent or bunk or whatever, you know, and he didn't want it to strip off his clothes. And the other guys got seriously mad at him. And there was like a discussion unfolding and so on and so forth. And when he further refused to strip the clothes, the sergeant with the t-shirt, he just commanded some of his own guys to just kick his ass. So they kicked his ass really bad. I mean, they said he was lying on the floor and they were fucking kicking him and beating him up and so on, and like, what the fuck is going on here? They were really like, oh. But then some of these other drunk Brits was starting to discuss if these two guys, the two things from my unit, they were also supposed to strip their clothes. And then some started to defend them, and oh, I guess they don't have to, and I was like, yeah, if you want to be in this tent and drink, you have to fucking be naked, unless you're a sergeant or an officer or something, you know. You know, then all sorts of drunken discussion and commotion developed, and then they saw the opportunity to just run. And then they just ran, and they came over in our barrack, you know, like completely. These Brits, they're mad. They're mad guys, man. I tell you, they were white in their faces because they were looking at a serious beating. They thought anyway, you know, because they didn't really wanted to strip off their clothes and so on. But anyway, the story tells a little bit about British soldiers. What you can say? What the hell do you call it in English? Oh, good. What the hell do you call it? Group commitment, or I mean. Of course, the own guy have to be naked if he wants to be in the tent. If there are 100 plus guys being naked, and he didn't understand it, and of course, when he refuses this, he might refuse something else much worse, you know, out in the battle or something. So I think actually it was quite logic that they did it. I think it was quite stupid of him not to do it actually. But anyway, really weird. But we also had to know on some big maneuvers and so on. British guys were mad. They refused to be taken prisoner. I mean, I never had incidents with them myself, but some of the other guys, man, they've been threatened with knives and bayonets, you know, on just a maneuver with the blank firing weapons, with the the blank firing muzzle device on and all this. There was one. There was some other guys who caught a British soldier in a big spruce or something. He was hiding under a spruce. And they were trying to get in and get him, and he just fired his weapon at like 1 meter or something, and actually a woman got burned in the face and everything, and he was just running off, of course, you know. Of course, it's quite serious. The muzzle blast, or what you can call it, flame from from the blank firing device. So and they were just mad guys. Those you know, they refused to be taken prisoner by Danish soldiers on maneuvers. I never had incidents with them myself, luckily. As I said, the other guys, they were like fired at, you know, like at point blank range and threatened with knives, bayonets, and well, no way in hell they're gonna be taken prisoner by Danish soldier. Never. So that's a little bit about the British fighting spirit. And also our officers, you know, when we were discussing with them, yeah, but can't you see that we don't need this draft system in Denmark? We just need, you know, to cut down on the social welfare and have some professional guys. Why the hell do we want guys who don't really want to be here, you know? And then the officers was like, yeah, but then it's gonna end up like the British Army, you know, like that was a worst scenario. Our second commander of the regiment, we have some discussions with him sometimes when we were in the mess and so on, but I never forget his face there. But yeah, but then it's gonna end up like the British Army, you know, like the mad guys. And it was really funny. But anyway, just a little army story. So now they're coming back, you can see. Some more guys. So, it's a rat in the trap. One last thing, guys. I will tag 4 people telling a cool army story or funny army story or just any army story worth telling. And first guy, not first, but doesn't really matter, but Helsinki Pop used to tell an army story, make a video on it. Stefan, the material tester, in English please. And CJ, Patriot NC1, will also do one, and Funky Prepper can do one. And then when you made the video, please post them as a video response to this video. Cheers, guys.